So my name is Scott. I'm co-founder and CTO of the ZettaBlock. Today, I'm going to talk about how ZettaBlock help other Web3 layer 1, layer 2 chains and protocols on data infra part, and how big challenge actually data infra part is. A little bit of introduction about myself. This is actually my second company. Before this company, I found another streaming DB company, got $40 million investment. Before that, I worked at Uber for 4 years, lead a team from myself to 200 full-time employees within a year and a half. I was also an engineering committee chair at Uber, supervised all the major engineering designs. Our team is actually full of data infra veterans. We just got a new funding 2 months ago. We actually triple-sized our eng teams in last 2 months. Like, for example, our head engineer, Rohit, previously he was the most senior principal engineer at Confluent, lead the next generation Kafka project. We also hired early employee Redshift on Databricks. We triple-sized our eng team. My co-founder, she also previously as a product manager at Databricks. She also got her PhD degree from Berkeley. So we are a team of the data infra expert in this field. Although we actually not public available yet, like you cannot actually try our product. It's not generally available yet. But half of the biggest enterprise customer in Web3 are our paid customer, like Polygon, Ripple, Crypto.com, zkSync, OpenZeppelin, Chainlink, Circle, etc. They are all our paid customer. So the point is very simple. You need a data infra for a lot of things, even for the simplest user experience. For example, show transaction history, show portfolio history, or you want to figure out who is actually a target user. You want to use the data infra for user acquisition. Or you want to build a recommendation system on top of data infra, so you can recommend the right content to the right user. The whole TikTok and Amazon is built on top of the data, recommendation system. Or you want to look at how your competition looks like, right? You want to track your competitors on-chain. But the data infra is actually one of the least invested part, underfunded part in Web3. I always think of the whole Web3 ecosystem is like to see tech company is similar to Facebook or Uber. But if you look at Uber, Uber has 15% engineer focus on data infra. So the rest of engineer can focus on business logic and build applications. But in Web3 world, you only have like 0.2% of engineer focus on data infra. So you have hundreds of layer 1 and layer 2 chains. You have hundreds of thousands of applications, but you don't have a lot of options for data in terms of data infra. And there are 4 fundamental, very challenging things for data infra. The first is that data source is very fragmented. For example, you just want to get transaction history for Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is an NFT token here. You need to get NFT image from IPFS. You need to get some collection metadata from database. You need to get token metadata from database as well. You need to get transaction from Ethereum, and you need to get price data from crypto exchange or crypto or Oracle. So with all this data, you can reproduce the transaction history experience like what Robin would provide to the users. So the data source is very fragmented. And this is actually a live demo, how the difference between, if without ZettaBlock and with ZettaBlock, what's the user experience? For example, if you want to get a transaction history for this token, using ZettaBlock, it's just a one API call. So at the end of the day, it's one API call. You got exactly how many transactions are there, what platform is traded at, what's the USD dollar value at the time of trading, and what's the ENS name for that. Without ZettaBlock, first you need to maybe call from Morales to get the transactions. Then, okay, so let me refresh this page. I need to refresh it. I just try it. Yeah, okay. Let's say just for the same token for comparison. First, you need to get from Morales to get transaction history. Once you get transaction history, you can probably need to CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap to get USD dollar value for the tokens. And the third step, you want to probably call Alchemy to get what platform this token was traded out. The last step, you want to get some ENS data. So on a happy day, you actually call, in this case, 62 RPC calls and takes 3 seconds to get the result. But it's exactly the same result you can get from ZettaBlock within 100 milliseconds. And what we do underlying is that we actually transform the data. We actually abstract all the complexity of it. So you can just write your business logic and aggregate data, generate data set, and it can be directly plugged into your mobile app or web app and use as a single backend for your mobile or web application. So in this case, you can just aggregate with Ethereum trace data, aggregate with transfer data, and join with the USD price data, and join with ENS data, get a total the table. Once you have a table, you basically can query the data as a GraphQL call. For example, in this case, if I want to get buyer, if I want to get buyer address, or maybe in this case, I may need also seller or seller address. So you can just get it as a GraphQL call and then get the data directly. So that's the value proposition. So in that case, instead of saying, hey, I need to get each single endpoint to get the data and then spend 5 seconds to assemble the data, you can just use ZettaBlock as a single abstraction interface or API interface to get the data and massage the data, bring the data into one place. Additionally, a second thing currently Web3 data infra don't support is that if you want to get analytic data and indexing data and real-time data, you need to get it from different providers. For example, if you want to have analytical data, you need to go Dune. If you want indexing data, you need to use Graph. And if you want to have a real-time notification, you probably need Alchemy or other providers. But with 4-year experience at Uber, supervise every single major engineering design at Uber, I realized even for the simplest user-facing feature, you actually need at least 2 of them. For example, if you want to be arbitrage, you want to figure out who is actually most profitable trader and trade along with its most profitable trader. You first need analytics to figure out, for last month, who was the most profitable trader. And then if this trader has any bad trading activity, you actually can, as a real-time alerting, just notify you this trader has a trading activity. But this trader may be short and long at the same time. In that case, you need indexing. So you can log into a website and figure out what's actually they are betting and then trade along with the most profitable trader. The same thing can apply to OpenZeppelin. OpenZeppelin uses us to do some machine learning and figure out if this trade is preemptive or analytic and preventions. There are lots of other similar use case, machine learning use case on top of us as well. So that's why, let's say this is another example. So what I do is that I build a real-time API so that this data will be refreshed in real time every 15 seconds when there is a Ethereum new block. And then I can just add a trigger block. In this case, whenever there is new data, send this to a webhook. And then you can see that I built this API an hour ago. So all this new data, it's basically sent to here. So every 15 seconds, when there is any new data, it will be send a webhook API call to just send all the payload here. And you can define any type of data here. It can be several table join. It could be just whichever business logic you want to build. Okay, so that's the value proposition we give to a customer. Additionally, so in this case, comparing to Dune and then Alchemy, we allow user to write meaningful logic, but we also provide all the data in very low latency. So you can get the data in low latency, but with meaningful logic. And you can also plug in with your mobile app or application. Additionally, we also make sure that all the chain data is decodable. So in this case, we not only decode the data, we also enrich the data with some labels, price data, like price token data. So user know exactly what's the USD dollar value at that time. So you can enrich join with the price table to figure out the transaction volume and USD dollar value. And then at last, we actually has a different layers of tables that we not only provide raw data, we also provide metadata, we also provide abstraction table as well. Last part is our data quality. We build a comprehensive data quality because for every single table here, you need data quality check. You need to make sure the data is recovered, automatically recovered for every single table. If you have 1,000 table, you need to build the pipeline 1,000 times. Because we actually come from data infra background, we natively build data quality. Whenever there is a data quality SLA break, we're going to notify us and automatically recover. So that's a service we provided. Okay, so here is my email and website. If you're interested, feel free to contact me. We are looking for clients and customers.
Cool, thanks a lot, Scott. And for the audience, you have last 2 minutes to raise any questions that you have. Please use the Q&A button in the bottom that you see. And when you type in the question, Scott will be able to answer it live. Cool. Yes. So we have one question from Maggie. Scott, can you see it?
Yes, I can see. What's our pricing model? We actually a pay as you go model. So in that case, we charge based on usage. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
basically, yeah. So basically, each organization you have basically have a pricing model. So you can the more you use, the more we charge. We can start with a relatively low price.
Cool. And we have one more question from William.
Okay, the question is that, is there going to be a Postman like desktop app for this? Oh, we do have a comprehensive developer doc. So in that case, for example, if you want to go to the docs here, you can use the API reference. And then all this API is actually callable. So for example, if you want to get list, trade query, get result, you can follow in this path to get the data. For the previous question, I want to show this as well. So basically it lists all the usage, like usage pattern, how many query I made, like what's the compute unit it consume. So something like this.
Take one last question from Timeless Wallet. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question if you have.
Yeah. So what's the typical kind of the integration timeline in terms like, from the first kind of a conversation to like the actual API,
Oh, so user actually create APIs themselves. So for example, let me share my screen again. So for example, if you want to build a Bond Yacht Club, like this API, you can build it yourself within minutes. So for example, assume that you know what's your business logic. You can directly here say, hey, I want to create an API like this and create API. And you can specify if you want to data refresh in real time or every 5 minutes, every 24 hours, and then you can get the data through GraphQL. So we can finish the integration within 5 minutes and you can get the API every 5 minutes, instead of spend a month to build an API and, massage the data, build data application, you can get the API in 5 minutes. And also we do have this organization, so you can build all your app in one application. And then we also have community. So if you want to share this with some other users, you can also do that.